Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother and sister, welcome back to Islamic Notes channel. Sarah's journey. Sarah is a young woman who was born and raised in a small town in the United States. Since childhood, she had a big ambition to become a pilot. Her mother always taught her to pursue her dreams without ever believing in the word impossible. When she was 10 years old, she often looked up at the sky and dreamed of becoming a pilot. The path she chose was already familiar in a country like America, where aviation is a well-developed industry. With strong determination, persistence, and hard work, Sarah finally achieved her dream of becoming a pilot. She joined one of the largest airlines in America, not only because of her extraordinary technical ability, but also because of her calmness in handling critical situations in the air. Every flight she took always went smoothly, and she became an idol for many people, especially young women who dreamed of following in her footsteps. But even though her life seemed perfect on the outside, deep inside, Sarah felt a strange emptiness. Flying was not just about ensuring the safety of passengers, it was also about maintaining her reputation as a professional pilot. She had flown planes across various parts of the world, from America to Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. Yet after every flight, after every workday, she would sit and think, what is the true purpose of life? That question always appeared in his head. He had achieved a lot in his career, but there was something more that he couldn't find with just achievements. That was when he started to feel that his life needed more than just work and recognition. He needed inner peace, something he had been looking for but had not yet found. There was a feeling of emptiness that continued to disturb his mind. Although many people say that material success does not always guarantee happiness, Sar had not fully understood this. He still thought that happiness was the result of achievement and recognition. But an unexpected event eventually changed his views. On one flight, Sar learned about Islam. Like many other Westerners, he was raised in a very secular environment. His family did not focus too much on religion, and religion was considered a private matter that was not talked about much in his family. Education and material success had been his top priorities since childhood. He had never been obsessed with the afterlife or spiritual meaning, just like his peers, the majority of whom didn't think too much about religion in their daily lives. However, even though he didn't think much about religion, he always felt that something was missing, a feeling that could not be filled by success or achievements alone. His initial interest in Islam came with skepticism. To him, religion was something private and personal, not something to be forced upon others. During an international flight from New York to London, an event occurred that made him stop and think deeply. At that moment, the turbulence was severe, and the atmosphere in the cabin was tense. The pilots had kept the plane stable, but the prolonged turbulence made him start to feel anxious. That's when, for some reason, a strange feeling came over him. He felt as if there was a greater power in control of the situation. About 5 minutes after the turbulence reached its peak, something unusual happened. A very strong wind suddenly blew, and the plane, which had been shaking violently, became stable again. All the passengers who had been scared moments before began to feel calm. Sar, deeply surprised by this sudden change, felt that a higher power had saved them. This was not a coincidence. Sarah thought there was something greater. After all this, he was silent for a moment and began to think that maybe this was a miracle given by God to show his power, to learn about the oneness of God, who is the one. Ahmad never forced Sarah to immediately embrace Islam, but often gave explanations about the beliefs and peace he felt since embracing Islam. Sarah's search for truth began with reading more books about Islam. She started with the Quran, although at first she felt awkward and confused with some of the concepts in it. Islam, with its deep concept of monotheism and the belief that the Prophet Muhammad was and is the only one, intrigued her. However, this spiritual journey was not easy for Sarah. She lived in a country where her mother was from an Islamic background, yet the community around her was full of prejudice against the religion. From her social circle, some of her friends began to take an interest in Islam. She was very enthusiastic about it, even though there was a feeling of fear and rejection from others. Despite this, the peace that Sarah felt further strengthened her intention. She realized that the Quran was very different from what she had previously read. She began to feel a deep connection with Allah, even though she did not yet fully understand all the concepts. In every prayer she offered, Sarah felt as if there was a power listening and answering her, even if in a very subtle and invisible form. After several months of studying Islam independently, she felt the need to seek further guidance to better understand the religion. An Indonesian teacher named Amik, who dedicated his life to teaching Islam, became her mentor. Every study session with him was filled with blessings and indescribable happiness. Islam was not just about guidance, it was about Allah leading her toward a greater understanding of faith. However, there was one thing that worried her: the reaction of her family and community. The fear of being judged or rejected lingered in her heart. Yet the sense of belonging, peace and purpose she found in Islam was too strong to ignore. When she first saw the Kaaba, Sarah felt something extraordinary. She felt connected to all Muslims around the world, as if she was not just an individual, but part of a larger community, united in one religion, one goal, and one belief. Every step she took toward the Kaaba brought her deep peace. As she stood before it in prayer, she felt an overwhelming sense of divine presence and unity with Allah. Sarah felt that Allah really listened to her prayers. There was more doubt in Haya. He felt that his life had finally found the right path, even though he had not yet converted to Islam. This journey had a great impact on him. Allah gave him guidance to fully experience Islam when he went to America. After performing the Umrah, he began to prepare for his departure. As Dankiz Sar said the two sentences of the Shahada with full sincerity, tears flowed down his face because he felt like he had found the answer. From the hesitation, he found satisfaction. Even though there were challenges, he also felt peace and happiness. From his past struggles, he finally understood the true meaning of life, finding peace and surrendering to Allah. This change also affected his perspective on the world. As a pilot, he felt that every flight he took was not just a job, but also an opportunity to be grateful to Allah for every second of life given to him. Every time he flew, he felt that he was carrying prayers and hopes for the good of humanity, not just for himself. After embracing Islam, Sarah's life completely changed. She became more involved in religious and social activities and tried to keep up with online teachings from her parents and friends. She hoped to become a successful woman in the aviation world, following in the footsteps of her parents, who were also professionals. However, Sarah's decision to embrace Islam was very surprising to her family and friends. Her mother, who had always taught Christian values, felt confused and anxious when she heard that her daughter had decided to follow the teachings of another religion. It was not an easy feeling for her, but at the same time she realized that this decision was a deep calling from Sarah's heart, aligning with her spiritual journey. In the midst of her confusion, Sarah chose to talk to her mother. She explained that embracing Islam did not mean she was abandoning her love and respect for the values taught by her family. On the contrary, Islam teaches peace, compassion, and a greater sense of gratitude, which ultimately gave her the strength to become a better person. Sarah also assured her mother that she would remain a good child who loves her family and tries to continue to bring happiness to the people she loves. Even though it was difficult at first, her mother slowly began to understand that Sarah did not choose this path because she wanted to fight, but because she felt that this was the path that would bring true peace and happiness to her life. At the same time, Sarah also talked to her friends who had previously felt strange about her changes. They witnessed how Sarah used to be, full of doubt and confusion, but now she had become a calmer and happier person. Some of her friends still felt doubtful, but most of them supported her sincerely. Friends who understood Sarah's spiritual journey began to feel the sincerity and peace that she brought, even though they did not fully understand the Islamic religion. Despite all the challenges, Sarah felt lucky because she slowly found peace and felt satisfied with the decision she had made. She realized that becoming a Muslima was a way to get closer to Allah. Every movement in prayer became a symbol of devotion to the Creator, and every prayer she prayed was a form of deep gratitude. As a pilot, Sarah felt a change in her perspective on her job. Previously, she only saw the world of aviation as a career, a personal achievement attained through hard work and determination. However, now she saw aviation not just as a career, but also as a way of interacting with people. Islam teaches kindness in speech and politeness toward colleagues. In stressful situations, Sarah used to be easily offended and quick to anger if there was a problem. But now she was trying to be more patient and face challenges with a positive attitude. She believed that by following the teachings of Islam, she could live more peacefully and have a positive impact on the people around her. One of the things that Sarah felt was a big change after embracing Islam is how she began to feel more connected to fellow Muslims. Even though she works at a company called Hai Prunki Danunyad, which she feels is a good example for many people, she wants to show that Islam does not limit a woman from achieving goals and dreams. Islam actually gives her the strength to continue to fight and strive to become a better person. This further strengthens Sarah's determination to continue to excel in the aviation sector while maintaining Islamic values in every aspect of her life. After some time as a Muslim woman, Sarah began to see a very strong connection between Islamic teachings and the world of aviation that she was involved in. In aviation, safety is paramount, and this is very much in line with Islamic teachings, which emphasize the importance of maintaining the safety and well-being of others. Sarah felt that in every flight, she was given a great responsibility to ensure that the passengers were safe and that their journey went smoothly. According to her, this is a very important form of worship because by protecting the safety of others, she is also protecting the trust that Allah has given her. Sarah also began to see that the world of aviation, although it seems secular, actually really needs Islamic values such as honesty, responsibility, and discipline. In every decision she makes as a pilot, Sarah always tries to carry it out with a full sense of responsibility and honesty. She feels that Islam teaches us to always do our best in our work and provide benefits to others. This makes Sarah even more convinced that she is on the right path. Even though there are many challenges that she has to face as a Muslim woman working as a pilot, one of the things Sarah is grateful for is the ability to carry out her work well while still fulfilling her religious obligations, such as praying. She feels that in every prayer, she finds peace, which helps relieve stress and anxiety that often arise in her work. Every time she is in the cockpit, Sarah feels that the prayers she performs before flying give her great mental and spiritual strength. She believes that Islam has given her a way to maintain a balance between work, life, and worship. Moreover, she strives to be a good example for the people around her, including colleagues who are curious about her faith. She believes that by showing kindness and compassion, she can change other people's views about Islam and help them understand that this religion is one full of peace and love. Sarah's decision to embrace Islam brought about a big change in her life, but of course it was not without challenges. However, after deciding to fully live her life as a Muslim, she remains steadfast in her journey, believing that her faith strengthens her in both her personal and professional life. Muslim woman Sarah faces the reality that the challenges of life as a Muslim woman in America are not easy. In the environment where she works, some colleagues begin to treat her differently. Although many support and respect her decision, there are also those who feel uncomfortable with the big changes that have occurred in Sarah's life. Some of her friends expressed their concerns about whether this decision would affect her ability to work as a pilot. She knew that she had to become a Muslim. Becoming a Muslim was not just a dream of becoming a professional and making friends with Sidi. She asked Sidi why she chose Islam, to gain peace and become a better person. She believed that God always gave her strength and peace, and she realized that every challenge that came was a test to bring her closer to Him. One of the biggest challenges she faced was when several colleagues began to doubt her abilities, especially in terms of leadership. As a female pilot, she often felt that she had to work harder to gain the same recognition as others at work. However, since becoming a Muslim, she saw these challenges as a way to prepare herself for facing other obstacles more wisely. Islam had become a source of inspiration for many people, including her non-Muslim friends and fellow Muslims who were just starting their spiritual journey. Sarah had learned that Islam was not only a religion full of rigid rules, but also a path that brought peace, happiness, and closeness to God. She believed that by embodying these values through her actions, She could help others better understand the true essence of the religion she embraced. Even though Sarah felt increasingly calm and happy after embracing Islam, she also realized that maintaining a balance in life was not easy. As a professional pilot and a Muslim woman, she had to continuously manage her time and energy to live a harmonious life. As she grew closer to Allah, she understood that life was full of tests, but with patience and surrender, she could overcome them. Every time she faced difficulties, she tried to approach them with a positive attitude, refusing to let stress and fatigue control her. She knew that faith, resilience, and trust in God would guide her through all of life's challenges. Every time he prayed, Sar asked Allah to give him strength and fortitude in facing all the tests of life. It is also important to try to maintain a good relationship with his family and friends. This is far from the word sasai, Mertatapka, who took who and is. In this world, Islam teaches that life and every action done with sincere intentions is the beginning of growth and the key to a bright future. The best contribution in his profession is to inspire others to pursue their dreams with determination and to show that being a good person is valuable. A strong and successful Muslim woman is something that is possible for Sarah. Life is not only about pursuing personal goals, but also about providing benefits to others and spreading peace in this world. In the future, she is committed to continuing to live her life with gratitude, sharing stories about her spiritual journey, and motivating others to pursue their inner peace through the religion she believes in. She believes that everyone has the potential to be better and to find peace. With the same intention, she hopes to continue giving back and spreading goodness. With patience and kindness, she welcomes the future, believing that her life will continue to be filled with blessings and happiness. She hopes that her life story can inspire many people, especially those who are searching for direction and peace. For that, she will continue to pray, strive, and work hard, firmly believing that everything done with good intentions and faith in Allah will yield beautiful results, both in this world and in the hereafter. This is the end of our video. If you enjoy Islamic content like this, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.